Some people voluntarily disappear, while others disappear due to an accident, crime, or a fatal incident in a location where they were unable to be found. In most parts of the world, a missing person will most likely be found, and unfortunately, criminal abductions are some of the most widely reported missing person cases. The following two cases are mysterious disappearances that were never solved. Jodi Huisentruy. Jodi Sue Huisentruy was born on June 5, 1968 in Long Prairie, Minnesota. In 1995, Huisentruy was working as a broadcaster in Mason City, Iowa. At around 4 a.m. on Tuesday, June 27th, her producer, Amy Kunz, noticed that Huisentruy had not turned up for work and called her apartment, where Huisentruy claimed that she had overslept and was preparing to leave for work. At 6 a.m, she had still not arrived at work, so Amy Kunz had to fill in for her on a morning show called Daybreak. By 7 a.m, concerned staff at a station KIMT had called the Mason City Police. When police arrived at her apartment, they found a red Mazda Miata in the parking lot, and there was evidence that a struggle had taken place near her car. Police believe that when Huisentruy was unlocking her car, she was abducted. A bent key lay on the ground near a Mazda Miata, and her red high heels, blow dryer, hairspray and earrings were strewn across the parking lot. Police also found an unidentified palm print on her car and a strand of hair, but it was later found that neither could be related to the crime. It is almost certain that someone had been lying in wait for Jodi Huisentruy when she exited her apartment. The distance between her apartment door and her car was about a dozen feet, ruling out the possibility that the abduction resulted from some chance encounter. Police felt sure she'd been abducted and interviewed the neighbours in her apartment block, who said that they heard screams at about the time she would have been leaving for work, and a nearby neighbour reported seeing a white van parked in Huisentruy's parking lot with its lights on and engine running. However, the van was never positively identified, and continued thorough investigations failed to find any clues to her disappearance. While the police would have been frustrated due to lack of evidence or solid leads, in September 1995, her family hired private investigators from McCarthy & Associates Investigative Services and Omaha, Nebraska private investigator Doug Jasser. To expand their efforts, McCarthy and Jasser appeared on influential and popular TV shows such as America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries. In November 1995, Jodi's family even travelled to Los Angeles to meet with 3 well-known psychics, and it was televised on the show Psychic Detectives, but with no leads. Then in May 1996, approximately 100 volunteers searched in a location called Cerro Gordo County in Iowa and left flags in areas that may have looked suspicious, and these sites were then further examined by police, again without any luck. All in all, police and private investigators would have interviewed 1,000 people but received no conclusive evidence. After more than 6 years of exhaustive searching and analysing, Huisentruy was declared legally dead in May 2001. 2 days after Jodi's disappearance, news anchor Robin Wolfram interviewed a man called John Vancish. Vancish claimed that Jodi had visited his home the night before she'd vanished and said they watched a video of a surprise birthday party he had helped arrange for Jodi with another friend, Annie Cruz. Vancish said that Jodi was like a daughter to him and was like his own child. Vancish said police had interviewed him twice, but they gave him no indication he was a suspect. Then in March 2017, a search warrant was issued against John Vancish and was requesting GPS data for 2 of his vehicles. Strangely though, the results of that search warrant have remained sealed. However, Vancish had denied any involvement in Jodi Huisentruy's disappearance and has undergone forensic tests as well as DNA and polygraph tests without finding any hard evidence. Vancish now has Alzheimer's. As of 2020, the Mason City Police Department and the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation were still actively investigating Huisentruy's disappearance. Ray Gricker. Ray Frank Gricker was born on October 9, 1945 in Cleveland, Ohio. At the time of his disappearance, he was serving as a district attorney of Center County in Pennsylvania. On April 15, 2005 at 11:30 a.m, he called his girlfriend Patty Fornicola and told her he was driving through the town of Brush Valley but did not come home that evening, and Fornicola reported him missing. The next day, police located his red Mini Cooper car in the parking lot of an antique store in Lewisburg, which was about a 2.5-hour drive from Brush Valley. They found his mobile phone in the car, but his laptop, keys and wallet were missing. But authorities claimed that they could see no signs of foul play. Over the following days, they searched the local Susquehanna River for his body, and a sniffer dog that was brought into the possible crime scene suggested Gricar had gotten into another vehicle. 2 months later, his laptop was located in the nearby Susquehanna River. Strangely though, the hard drive was found in another location, suggesting that the hard drive had for some reason been removed before everything was thrown in the river. The FBI, the US Secret Service and a data recovery firm by the name of Kroll OnTrack attempted to retrieve any information from the hard drive, but found that it was badly damaged. Pennsylvania authorities asked the FBI to analyse Gricar's bank accounts, credit cards and cell phone records, but unfortunately no clues were found as to where he may have been. 4 years later, in April 2009, Belafonte police announced that before Ray Gricar's disappearance, someone had used a home computer at the residence he shared with Fornicola to perform searches on the internet, and one of the questionable topics chosen was how to wreck a hard drive to a notebook computer. This tells us that Gricar may have been planning his own disappearance, or that Fornicola knows more than she's letting on. It seems highly unlikely that someone would break into his premises and search on Ray Gricar's computer on those suspect topics. In June 2011, Gricar's daughter Lara, who was trustee of her father's estate, petitioned Centre County to declare him dead. Then, on July 25, 2011, County President Judge David E. Grine declared Ray Frank Gricar dead in absentia. After he'd been missing for over 6 years with no trace of his whereabouts, Centre County authorities declared Gricar legally deceased on July 25, 2011.